Good morning and welcome back to Hollybrook Cemetery in Southampton in Hampshire. Now I've been here twice before. The first time was to do Benny Hill's grave and the second time was to visit Frederick Fleet's grave, which is just over ahead of me to my right. Today though it's a much more sombre occasion, though they were bad enough. This one's even worse, believe it or not. This was a young 13-year-old girl who sadly had her life taken from her. Terrible, terrible case. Now this one is going to affect me because I've seen this documentary very recently when I was doing my research. I thought I'd have another look at it because I saw it probably a year or so ago, this documentary. And while I was doing my research, I thought I'll have another look at it, see if I can get any more information out of it. And it's a horrible, horrible case of a young 13-year-old girl who was groomed by a much older man, well not much older man, but probably 10 years older. Terrible case. But what I'll do is I'll spin you around and we'll have a look around this lovely little cemetery. Well, I say little cemetery, it's actually quite a large cemetery. But we'll have a little look around while I tell you about Lucy McHUGH. Lucy McHUGH was a 13-year-old girl who attended Redbridge Community School at the time of her murder. A teacher at her school stated that at one point Lucy wanted to become a mechanic. Then she wanted to become a fashion designer, but she finally decided that she wanted to study law and become a lawyer in the United States. A year earlier she had attended a different school, but her mother had switched the schools after teachers had reported concerns in 2017 that Lucy had admitted to having an older boyfriend. Teachers were concerned that he may have been sexually exploiting her, but social workers considered the concerns had no foundation because they were given assurances by Lucy's mother. In 2018, teachers from Redbridge Community School also reported concerns. Lucy lived at home with her mother Stacey White, 30, her partner Richard Elms, 22, and a younger brother. In May 2017, Richard's best friend, Stephen Nicholson, 23, who had been living with his mother, was invited to move into the family home as he had fallen out with his mother and was now homeless. Nicholson, who had an obsession with reptiles, moved all his snakes and lizards into the family home with him. The animals he had plus his tattoos were very impressive to 12-year-old Lucy, and she developed a crush on Stephen. A crush which unfortunately Stephen did little to discourage. In fact, he did more to encourage it. His room in the family home was directly opposite Lucy's, which made it easy for him to abuse her. Nicholson had spent 2 years in prison in 2010 for holding staff and youngsters at a children's home hostage at knife point. Lucy kept a diary which would later be found by the police, and within its pages had full and explicit details of how Stephen had taken her virginity in May 2017, the very month he had moved into the house. I must emphasise at this point that neither Stacey nor Richard had any knowledge that this was taking place under their roof. As time went on, Lucy and Stephen began to argue, and it got so bad that a week before the murder, Richard asked Stephen to move out. This must have been difficult for Richard, as they had been friends since he was 6 years old. On the day Stephen moved out, Lucy told Richard that she had something to tell him and her mum. Unfortunately, Rachel got home from work after Lucy had gone to sleep, and by then it was too late, the moment had passed. A few days later, Stephen left work at lunchtime claiming he had a stomach bug and diarrhea. He worked as a carer for the elderly, so he knew that using that excuse he would not be allowed back to work until at least 48 hours after his symptoms had gone. He wasn't really ill, he was just buying himself some time to put into action a plan he had come up with. The plan was to get Lucy out of the picture to ensure nobody found out what he'd been doing to her. On the 25th of July 2018, Lucy left her home just before 9 AM and headed towards Southampton's outdoor sports centre. A female dog walker had later reported seeing a girl matching Lucy's description on the sports field at around 10 AM. That was the last known sighting of Lucy alive. When Lucy hadn't returned home by the evening, her parents began to worry and phoned the police to report her missing. The next day, the 26th of July 2018, at 7:45 AM, a dog walker made a gruesome discovery while walking his dog through the wooded area at the Southampton Outdoor Sports Centre. The body of a young girl lay in the undergrowth, who police would later identify as Lucy. She had 27 stab and slash wounds to her face, neck, upper chest area and forearms. It was determined that she had bled to death. The very next day, Stephen Nicholson was arrested on suspicion of Lucy's murder. He had arranged to meet with her via Facebook Messenger with the sole intention of silencing her permanently. He covered his tracks by deleting the messages, but they were later recovered by police, as was his phone location, which placed him at the scene. Nicholson was later charged and convicted of Lucy's murder. Lucy's school friend later said Nicholson and Lucy got together in May 2017 when she was only 12 years old. She told me she was seeing a 23 or 24-year-old named Stephen. She went on to say that she was really worried, so told her mother about Lucy's romantic relationship. She said that Lucy told her that Nicholson took her virginity, adding that Lucy looked really uncomfortable and scared when she shared the secret. The girl's mother informed Mrs. White, who rejected the claims as fantasies. The friend said Lucy described the situation with Nicholson as getting worse in the months following the sexual encounter and that she was being treated badly by her mother and her partner. She said Nicholson was becoming increasingly violent, including attempting to force his way into her bedroom. The girl said, 2 weeks before she was murdered, she told me Stephen was slapping her and getting more and more worse. She added that Lucy told her his weed smoking was getting worse and he was trying to touch her. He's getting violent, he's slapping me. The girl said Nicholson became possessive of her over another boyfriend Lucy had and that he would bash his head in. She said that she advised Lucy to move out of the house and to live with her grandparents. She kept on saying she wanted to, but she couldn't. She kept telling me not to worry and that she would sort it out. But I kept worrying about her because she kept not looking right and not acting the way she was used to. A neighbour who lived across the road from Lucy's family for around 7 years revealed she saw the tragic teenager the day before she was reported missing. She said, "My son used to play with Lucy and her brother every day. They lived across the street for the best part of 7 years until they moved about 18 months ago. I saw Lucy the day before she went missing. She told me about having an older boyfriend, but she wouldn't tell me who." She added, "Looking back now, I didn't probe her on that as much as maybe I could have. Of course, she was 13. To her, older could be 14, 15, 16 years old." The full list of charges Stephen Nicholson was convicted of were the murder of Lucy, 3 counts of rape when Lucy was 12, 2 counts of sexual activity with a child when Lucy was 13. He was also charged with sexual activity with a child in relation to another girl when she was 14. The really sick thing about the last charge is that it happened in the same location as the murder of Lucy. On the 18th of July 2019, Stephen Nicholson was sentenced to life in prison with a recommendation that he serve no fewer than 33 years. Lucy, God rest her soul, was buried in Hollybrook Cemetery in Southampton, which is where we are today.
Well, that's all the information I could find out about Lucy McHUGH. As you heard, a very, very sad case. This one's going to be one of those difficult ones because she was so young. I mean, she was only just 13. Now, her final resting place is just here to my left somewhere. I have seen it. It was a bit of a nightmare to find simply because it hasn't got Lucy McHUGH on the headstone, it's got Lucy Page on the headstone. So I did find it eventually after doing a bit more research. Right, what I'll do is relocate it now. What I'll do is I'll spin you around and we'll go and see if we can find it together. Well, I think it's over here. No. Oh, I can see it. Right, okay. Can't really miss this one. It's a beautiful grave. Trouble is I might embarrass myself because there's a bit of a cliff here I've got to jump down. But here it is. This is a final resting place of Lucy McHUGH. Lucy Page Dolly, 24th of the 10th 2004 to the 25th of the 7th 2018. Here lies our magical daughter, a precious sister, granddaughter, niece and cousin. So unique and very, very much loved. A bubbly, brave angel. You were taken far too soon from this earth. Now to watch over us in spirit, just as we did you in life. Gone forever, but never to be forgotten. No goodbyes, just see you soon. Our hurricane of smiles and lip gloss. Always remember to turn on the light to see past in the darkness. Is there anything on the back? No, there's nothing on the back. Well, that is back up so you can see it all. There are a lot of trinkets on this one. That is the final resting place of Lucy McHUGH. Well, that was the final resting place of Lucy McHUGH. Really, really sad one. I don't want to be around the grave too long because it's too upsetting. 13 years old, pretty little thing, abused by someone who should have known better. But anyway, that's the end of another video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you like the content, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Right, well, that's it. Me, Darren, from Hollybrook Cemetery in Southampton in Hampshire. I will see you on the next one. So bye-bye for now.